I'm the same dude y'all read about, the same tool y'all need it now. We came through, not leaving now. When these lame dudes, we beat them out. No stopping this. In my way, might pop your lip. Ain't saying this awesomeness, but y'all look like the opposite. We setting the bar. Y'all know who we are.
We're making history. Leaving a legacy. Nothing is stopping me. Better believe what we say. We're making history.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the Paradigm Shift. We have so much to talk about. We are in Black Wednesday number 2. I'm going to waste no time. I'm going to bring in the man, the godfather of podcasting to me. He is the only, if you will, in the pinfall streams, Mr. William H.D. Morgan.
If you will, baby, if you will. Got a lot of releases going down. Black Wednesday number 2. We're going to get to it, but first, let me bring in my man who always makes sure the stocks rise up. Bring in my man, TDC.
Just want to let you know, Vince, I can't get jiggy with this shit. I can't get jiggy with this shit, man. These fucking cuts. You're killing me, Vince.
Oh, man, boys, do we have a lot to talk about today?
Woo!
And in that, we're going to jump right into our favorite segment. So, there is a lot of movement going on in WWE, not just, as Will said, the releases, which we're going to get all into here in just a little bit today. But first, they've been making a lot of moves. They brought in a lot of ESPN announcers. They've released some announcers real quick that haven't worked. They are making moves, it seems like, to get the company more palatable for a sale. Now, we're going to talk more our opinions on this sale and all that here in a little bit, but just out of curiosity, if you were the one to buy the WWE, what would you do to save it? Just specifically wrestling. And my idea here is split them up. You need to have the entertainment side and you need to have the wrestling side, and you need to put Triple H in control of the wrestling side.
First thing you need to do is fire fucking John Laurinaitis' untalented damn ass who thinks everybody thinks for some reason WWE has always thought that he was so great about finding talent. You need to get his ass out of there for one. That's the first thing you need to do. As Josh said, the second thing you need to do, you need to put Triple H in charge of everything. He needs to be in charge of everything. Paul needs to be in charge of both shows, whether it's Entertainment Expo or Raw. I mean, well, not Raw, or wrestling, whichever one it may be. But it needs a major fucking overhaul. One of the biggest issues that I have with WWE right now is they start stories and they stop them, and they stop them on a dime. They'll be 4 weeks, 7 weeks into a story and just stop doing it, and not give you no explanation why. Look at Aleister Black; they just cut him. And they literally have been spending all this money repackaging him and to bring him back, and then they turn around and they cut him. Braun Strowman was just in the 3-way for the championship. They cut him. So, like, they don't make no fucking
Facebook
sense.
user, click that link so I can say thank you.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not that they don't sometimes have good ideas. It's the way they execute on them that it's fucking horrible. It is straight up horrible. There's no kind of build to nothing. The best thing that WWE has going right now is Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. And I thought I would never, ever fucking say those words, that Roman Reigns is the best thing that WWE has going. But it's the truth. It's the truth. It's the only storyline that is going that actually has any kind of demeric or history behind it. Everything else is like slapped together bullshit, and it's over in 2 or 3 weeks. Unless you want to see Drew McIntyre versus fucking Bobby Lashley for the 900th time for the title. I mean, that's pretty much, other than little stuff like that, there's no longevity to nothing that they do. Nothing.
To me, and I know you can't do this per se, you need to get rid of Vince. You need to redo the creative team, because some of the shit that they do is terrible. You just brought Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman up. I think the head of the table is a stupid gimmick. I'm getting sick of it. And they need to let Roman and Paul be Roman and Paul. Let the Usos go back to being the Usos. If you're gonna do a faction like that, bring all your Samoan talent together and pull that faction off. But I think creative is the main thing. They have no idea how to write for these people. No idea to write.
It's because they're hiring fucking NBC writers who write cartoons for a living.
Yep.
Like, how the hell are they going to write a damn wrestling show?
I mean, go back and look at it. Why would you split the Hurt Business? Why? They were one of the most over things ever, and you split them up for no reason.
That's what I'm saying. There's no longevity to nothing.
And I agreed with this when it happened because I'm tired of them. But you split up the New Day to give Big E this huge push, and it's done nothing. They've done nothing with him. The New Day are floundering, and like personally, I'm not a fan anymore. The New Day has grown very stale to me. But
yeah, like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the best thing to do is you need someone to just focus on the wrestling side. Vince is there. I was telling this to somebody today. They're not a wrestling company. They're an entertainment company that happens to do wrestling on another venture.
Right. And to be true too, and me, you talked about this the other day, Josh. They need to stop putting the veterans in these bad spots. What they did to Mark Henry was brutal. What they did to Big Show was brutal. You don't disrespect your long talent like that.
Well,
you make money off those guys. And Paul White feels he still has something to offer to the business. Mark Henry still feels like he has something left to contribute to the business. Treat them with respect. That last time you saw Mark Henry talk to Randy Orton like that was ridiculous.
Well, and you get all these people that say the WWE or AEW is bringing in all these guys, but I truly believe they're using them in a potential the WWE could be too. Mark Henry, that was going to be news we're going to talk about here in a minute. Mark Henry was announced he signed a multi-year deal with AEW. He's going to be one of the commentators on Rampage. I think him as a commentator and coach is a good move. It's not like bringing in Goldberg to hold your strap for 6 months.
Right.
My whole thing about that is Mark Henry entertaining enough on the microphone to be a
Punisher?
He does. I disagree because he's on Busted Open and he's one of their best hosts with LeGrand.
Have you also heard him on a couple of podcasts recently? He sounds really, really good. He's an intelligent dude. He knows what he speaks.
He knows wrestling.
Same thing with Big Show. Very intelligent, well-spoken. Both those guys represent the business well, and you just threw them out the pasture. That's just disrespectful.
Well, and Tommy, me and Will were also talking about this. Personally, other than Taker, because he's never leaving, is there two better guys to be coaching the up-and-coming big guys than Mark Henry and Big Show? Like, those are two of your best big guys to ever do it. So even just take the commentating out of it, because I'll agree with you. You got to see how he does there. But just to have him as a coach, that's a big deal. It's a big deal. But you know what? Since we're on this topic, we're going to move right in, and then we'll take our first break here in just a few minutes. But we're going to move right in. So, as we said, Mark Henry is All Elite. He signed a multi-year deal with the company. Was announced in DON this week that he will be the commentator or the analyst for Rampage. I think that's a big get for them. I'm excited to see him as a coach, and I think there's a lot of big guys at AEW who will definitely benefit from having him around.
Yeah, you need to put Lance Archer in there with his ass for about 6 to 8 weeks.
So did you go back and watch any of the clips from the Archer Miro match, Tommy?
No, I did not. I'm not a Lance Archer fan at all.
You're not? I try to get behind the guy. Like I do. And I kind of like the everybody dies. But right now they're playing him like this anti-hero, and it doesn't really work for the gimmick. Like, he's a good guy, but he's kind of crazy.
I like the idea at the beginning of putting him and Jake together, but now I'm starting to think that was a bad idea. I think Jake should have went with someone else and let Archer kind of do his own thing.
Maybe. So I think having Mark there for a lot of these big guys and really building their big, and it seems like that's what they've been devoted to lately, because we all know they got the guys that can do the flips and the tricks and the spots and all that, but their big guys do need some work. They're like, they need those. We've talked about this before. Every once in a while, you need those good big guy wrestling matches where they go out there and just clobber the shit out of each other. There's not a lot of spots. There's not a lot of flair. It's just a good old school wrestling match. And that's one of the things, as a fan, as a big fan, that I would say AEW misses a lot is there's too many of the spots, too many of the run-ins, too many of the – you need those just straight up matches, those good 15-minute matches that come to a pin.
Let's talk. I want to talk about this real quick because Cornette pointed this out to me, and I didn't even notice.
God!
But he makes a damn good point. Why in the fuck did they decide after all this time that that COVID was going on, they didn't have no fans? Why the fuck did they decide at that pay-per-view when they finally had fans in the audience to do some kind of outside bullshit once again, away from the fans, and then show the fans this shit on the screen? Well, that was the dumb. You had a fucking year to do shit like that, and then you waited to the night that you got fans back in the stadium to do it. That's the shit that pisses me off about AEW. That's the part where you can tell that Mr. Tony over there and them don't know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They just have a lot of money to do it with.
But in fairness, that's not true. Only half the match was recorded. Half the finish finished in the ring. About the last 10 minutes was in the ring. And also, they did the Stadium Stampede because that's where it debuted last year at DON in that. And it's going to be their last pay-per-view there for over a year.
It still don't make no sense, though, to have fans after a fucking year, over a year, and then you going to show some kind of theatrical shit. We've been watching that shit for over a year. That made zero fucking sense. Zero.
I disagree. Like, I think they got, like, it was their it was the year. It wasn't a bad match either. It was a pretty good match. And then it finished in the ring with Sammy Guevara getting the win. So I'm all for that. Moving to the next bit of AEW news, Cody Rhodes pretty much confirms that the six-man trio champions are coming.
Fucking idiot.
Stupid, man.
They need this. They've got too many tag teams on the roster as it is.
But you disrespect his father with this. This is more of like Dusty Rhodes and the Road Warrior from back in the day. I ain't gonna put this on. Oh,
what are you talking about?
Nothing. It just bothers me. It just bothers me that you're gonna bring a 6-man title to now of all times, the 6-man title now. When I think of a six-man tag team championships, I think Dusty Rhodes. I think the Road Warriors. I don't think of anybody in AEW with a 6-man title. It's just disrespectful to me.
See, AEW has a lot of trios. They need this type of title. And
my issue with it is it's too fucking gimmicky for me. It's too gimmicky. I don't like it. It's too fucking gimmicky.
When Dusty and the Road Warriors did it, it made sense and it represented those belts well. I get it what you're saying, Josh, because they do have a lot of factions over there, 3 or more that can use it. So I get your point.
And I think they can build some good stories around it. And this is also something that the fans have been asking for since AEW debuted. AEW fans have been asking for a trios title.
Chop them motherfuckers in half and send half of them to Impact, because God knows they're 200,000 viewers. Impact needs it. Kenny can't even get them fucking viewers bumped up to 400,000.
Well,
and that's Kenny that can't do it. And that's Kenny that can't do it.
Tommy, you said it. Really, Khan needs to bite the freaking bullet and just buy Impact. He needs
I don't know
to
why
buy.
it wouldn't. If WWE is releasing all this
Well-
talent on a regular basis, you can't fit everybody on AEW. If you had Impact, maybe if you had Impact, you could do things like put Braun Strowman on Impact and make Braun Strowman the face of Impact. That would be huge for
Yes,
fucking
Jim.
Impact.
Yes, Jim. The Freebirds as well. Thank you, Jim. Thank you.
But also, the reason I say this is the content. It's been said a few times that AEW is working to get their own streaming service so they can do all this. Think of all the content you get with Impact. That's 20 years worth of content.
That's true.
And they already have a pretty good, decent app service. So you get that too.
Ricky, what's up, man?
I think I agree. TK needs to buy Impact, and I agree with you, Tommy. That way he can split up some of these, all of these guys, and not have to bring them all into AEW. Bring some into it, and then you still, because you own both, you can still rotate.
He's got the money to do it. He's got the money to do it.
That or if he's going to keep his partnership with Impact, then he needs to back them
he needs to
and
use
flip
it.
them some
Right.
cash so they can grab big stars like Braun Strowman or someone to lure
Maybe-
them over.
Right.
Maybe you don't buy it, but maybe you go to Anthem and you're like, hey, I want to become a shareholder, a big shareholder in Impact. Y'all hold whatever percentage you hold. I want to hold equal, and I want to have some say, but I also want to help you get some of this big talent that's out there. And so the last little bit of AEW news before we really move into the topic of the night was the thing I'm the most excited for, the DMD.
About
is the
time.
champion.
About freaking time. What took so long, Josh?
Well,
I know she was hurt.
but truly think about it. If
She
she had
sucked
to get
when she
hurt,
started.
well,
She
and
what?
that's
She sucked when she
she started. She was terrible. But also, she got hurt. She probably would have been champion. She'd probably wouldn't have held the title had it not been for her getting hurt. But also, you have to give Sheeta props. She carried it well for a year during COVID.
She
Did a good job with the title. But Britt, I think that injury changed her life, because truly, if she'd have gotten the belt before her injury, she wouldn't last long. Fans weren't enough.
See that whole whopping inch they added to that belt?
Oh, it looks so much better.
Still an ugly title, in my
It's
opinion.
still
Put
an
the
ugly
picture. Put
title.
the picture back up, Josh. Let me see it again. Put the picture back up. Yeah, that thing ugly. I ain't gonna say it in front.
It's still ugly. I'm not
That
going to
thing
say
ugly.
they're trying to make it look like a classic women's title, and
It looked like a Barbie doll.
I get what they were going for, but it just didn't come out right, man. It's
they're
just
trying
ugly.
to make it look like the NWA women's title.
Shit.
and-
Good luck with that.
But yes, I think her getting hurt, doing the role model thing, her in the cart with the leg brace on and everything, those were amazing.
that heel turn saved her.
That
ass.
heel
Yeah,
turn.
yeah.
I was talking with a guy at the show I went to see DON, and he was at the same show I was in Austin last year when she came out, and this was her heel turn when she was still doing the on-stage interviews with Shivani. And she said, Whataburger sucks. And a Whataburger chant broke out in the stadium. And that right there is that was it. Right then and there, she was over 100%. And they did the long story right, as far as I'm concerned, with Britt Baker. They built her. They actually paid attention to the fucking rankings for once.
Yep.
She had to work her way up. That was actually a part of the storyline. Hey, Tommy, I might be a mark, but I will admit when they don't, and those ratings piss me the fuck off, because 90% of the time they don't follow them. Jungle Boy's got a title match. I'm ecstatic about that.
You can't in professional wrestling. You can't follow those.
And
you
I
can't
think
do rankings.
I think eventually the rankings will fall off. It's just not going to work.
What you gonna do 5 years from now? 132 and 41.
Well, they reset them every year, but it's just when you have things in wrestling like battle royals and random things to crown champions, it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it fucks up your booking too.
Yeah.
I can tell you that just from a promo booking standpoint.
Yeah, you run a ranking system
You
in yours, and I know it's hard.
You know.
Yeah, it's a pain in the ass.
But I do, last little bit of news, another champion crowned alumni of the Paradigm Shift from last week, Layla Gray, claimed her first title last night. Progressive Wrestling 2, she is their new women's champion. That was amazing. So excited for her. It's a big get for her. So congratulations to the two new women's champions, Britt Baker, Layla Gray.
I'm telling y'all, it's because she came here. It's because she came here.
I think she should put it on the line against David Arquette.
But it's because she came here, and we got that for her.
But we're gonna take our first commercial break because we've been talking, and then we're gonna come back and really dive into the biggest news of wrestling this week, and that is all the releases and what is the future of WWE. We'll be right back, guys.
Yeah, I'm a legend, I ain't going nowhere. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. Yeah, it's showtime, you can call me Rolex. Everybody wanna watch me. And I ain't never been second string, boy. I'm a reason why they came out. Yeah, all I do is go hard, best believe I ain't looking for no way out.
All I do is win. All I do is win. All I do is win. All I do is win.
Yeah. Going down tonight. Woo. Yeah. It's going down tonight. It's going down tonight. It's going down tonight. Let's go.
No one pulls up like we do. No one does us like we do. Always go hard with this crew. Welcome to the show, let's make moves. Nothing's gonna stop us, it's not to get rough. Turn the whole room up, it's never enough. Let's go, 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 let's go. All gonna go and take it over. You call us King Kong, we come.
First of all, William Morgan, I thought about it because I know we were going to get on this topic and ramble, but it would have taken about 10 minutes to run all of our commercials at once. Two, I did decide I'm going to run 3 because we were late, and then I only have to run one more commercial break. But those commercials you just saw are for the Geek Gauntlet. You catch that Saturdays, 9 Central, 10 Eastern with Mr. William Morgan, Shaw, whenever he decides to come back, Mr. Gene, and whoever got guest hosting for them. Then that is the Double XP. You catch that before this show, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, Wednesday. The girls are trying some new things over there, so definitely make sure you check that out. And I ran some in commercial sports report on Mondays. 9 Central, 10 Eastern with Tony, Seven, Will, and again, when Gene comes back, I'm telling you, we're missing Mr. Pinfall. He's missing. Please find him.
Don't forget, we got less than 100 days until college football season kicks off. So that means
The return.
the return.
Well, and we were talking last night, TDC, or Monday. So I don't know if you caught the sports report on Monday, but we got into some in-depth conversation about social movements in sports and things like that, and all of that. It was very interesting, and it led us. Sports Report After Dark is coming. It is going to launch this summer, and what it is it's going to be more of a conversation, less of us talking statistics and what's going on directly with sports, and more of a conversation about sports, people in sports, things like that. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Kind of like the dark side of football.
Dark side of football, new thing. Dark side of the ring, a little bit maybe. But it's going to be interesting. One of our first episodes we're going to talk about is Aaron Rodgers. Curse or blessing to the woman he dates.
Well,
I said that I died. I said that I died on Monday. That shit wrong.
But it's true.
I bet you it's got to be a blessing as far as I bet you they get good deal. I bet you don't have to pay for Gillette razors.
Let me see, because I'm trying to think. Okay, Olivia Munn hadn't been relevant since she did that X-Men movie. And old girl and Danica Patrick just retired.
Her career literally ended.
It ended
while she was there and is dating this man.
Her career ended. She left G4 TV and everything.
Well, you can say all you want, but like she had a great career and then went to NASCAR and
Yep.
So anyway, you make sure you be on the lookout for Sports Report After Dark. Excuse me. Moving right along to some heavy stuff. So first thing I want to talk about tonight on this is the third hour of Raw did 1.16 million. And Tommy, after you posted this to the chat, I looked. The average was only 1.8 for the night. Literally one of their lowest shows ever. Ever.
It's about what Dynamite's pulling.
But that's expected of Dynamite. It's not expected of Raw. Dynamite would be thrilled with a 1.16.
But you got Raw pulling 1.6, and you got SmackDown's pulling over 2 every week.
SmackDown's the show now. SmackDown's the flagship.
And that's more why you gotta worry than anything. Is SmackDown has never been the number one show. In what? SmackDown's been around 25 years.
I wouldn't say that. SmackDown's been the number one show.
It's been the one show before.
It's never been marketed as their number one show. And you look at when they were the number one show is right. Every time that SmackDown started pulling better numbers than Raw is when SmackDown then tanked and Raw went back. Every time.
I'm telling you, they must have 2 different sets of writers because it's like SmackDown is killing Raw. It's killing Raw.
They do got 2 sets of writers.
Yeah.
But if you really look, well, supposedly one of the lead writers over at SmackDown is Road Dogg.
Wow.
This is a prime example of just because they had a catchphrase. Road Dogg, talking to you, buddy. Just because you had a catchphrase,
Hey,
does not mean that you can book and write great matches.
hey, hold up now. That's my Facebook friend. Hold up now. Hold up now.
You don't think? Well, okay. So he's lead writer of SmackDown, but SmackDown's the number one show. You still don't think he should be over there? Because me personally, the only thing SmackDown really has going for it is Roman Reigns. What else is going?
You know who another writer is? Jamie Noble.
I knew you was gonna say that. I knew you was gonna say that. Dang, man.
Jamie Noble's a writer. I see him every once in a while. Like he'll come out there like there's a scrimmage or something, you know, there's a big rustle going on or something. If you're trying to break it
Yeah.
up, Jamie always comes out there and gets in the
Yeah,
middle
but I'm
of
talking about
it.
Road Dogg. That's my Facebook friend, dude. Don't do that, man. That's just wrong.
Hey, let me tell you something.
That's just
Road
wrong.
Dogg is bloodline from Alabama wrestling bloodline. Okay,
I know.
let's just put it that way. All
I
right.
know. That's my buddy, though, man. That's my buddy. Come on, man.
But that, I mean, Raw's been on the downtake, like we've said for a long time. But that's, and I agree with you, Tommy. But that's what AEW is shooting for. Raw wants to be double that.
I don't know, man.
Triple
I think we're just in the days of wrestling where it's never going to be. If you're pulling two, you're doing damn good.
Yeah, you're doing really
Well,
good.
Damn good.
Truly, I think we're into a point of wrestling where it's so, like we talk about, we are in another renaissance of wrestling, but it's also because the business is changing. It's a lot easier for people to go find exactly what they're wanting in a wrestling company, because you can go to Fight, Title Network,
Mhm.
all of these, and watch whatever you want. And you could get New Japan their
It's not like-
streaming service. It's not like it was in the 90s where you could only get wrestling in two places or on
Right.
VHS.
The product is too diluted. But I also think
don't forget New Japan just is probably just about to do a deal with WWE.
I don't
Well-
think that's happening.
but I also think Raw kills itself because it shouldn't be 3 hours. It should go back to 2.
I know it should never went to 3.
It
Never
should have
went to three.
never went
Never
to
went
three.
to 3. It should have kept it at 2.
It's
You're
too
doing
much.
good at 2. You
Why would you go to 3 anyway when you already have other wrestling programs that come on that week anyway?
Well,
That's too
exactly.
much.
You can talk shit about Money Mark all he wants, but Tony Khan was offered to extend Dynamite instead of taking the hour-long Rampage shout and said no because it's fuck you, Tommy.
But my thing is,
My fucking doorknob on my door over here has more personality than fucking Tony does.
Oh, I don't disagree with you.
let's agree with
The
that.
man never needs to be on screen ever.
But my
He
thing
talks,
is,
he makes me feel uncomfortable. For
And
him, I'm like, dude, just shut up talking. Quit talking, Tony. Quit.
but there's a lot of things that they can do. Cut it back to 2 hours. Cut back some of those vignettes. Bring it more on the matches, man. That's what people want to freaking see.
Oh, you can give me some vignettes. Stop all those stupid fucking food fighting segments.
Yeah,
That's
like
what
that.
I'm saying. Like,
stuff like that.
and that's what a lot of people are seeing. That's what AEW does. You don't see a lot of backstage segments. You see a lot of, you might see a vignette or two, but it's mostly in ring. And you have so many accesses now to put those other stories and things out on YouTube or whatever.
Right. You have other platforms.
You don't need to use your show for that. And
You
plus,
have other platforms you can freaking use.
most people are constantly looking for content anyway, so give them that content somewhere else.
That's probably where the old man is a little out of touch on it. Is because he wants to continue to do things a little bit more the old way, and it's not.
It's not translating.
It don't work no more. No one has to sit around and wait. Oh, well, if I miss Raw, fuck. I'll have to wait till next week or wait till they run the rerun in order to watch it. A lot of people don't even watch it anyway. Even people that are advocate watchers, half the time go do something with their Monday night, and then they watch the rerun, usually the next day on their lunch break on YouTube, and they skip past all the bullshit.
And get to the and get straight to the matches.
Yeah.
And don't forget too. Here's the thing that kills me too. You got the network is gone. It's over on Peacock, but Raw is still being shown on Hulu, and I don't get that. You
And,
can just go to Hulu and do the same thing.
and
If
it's
they want
not-
to blame some rating loss, let's go ahead and just be honest. The fucking whole zombie apocalypse thing that just happened on Raw,
Mhm.
that was probably what drew. Hey, I've not tuned in since. I've not flipped over and seen what's going on since. Ever since that happened, I was like, that's too much. That's like early 90s cheesy
And how you bringing
WCW bullshit.
and
What
how you
the
bring it
fuck?
and how you bringing the Miz back so fast? You ain't selling that thing like it should be sold. Miz should be gone for another almost to the end of the freaking month if you want to really sell it right, and they're not selling it right.
What else is new? But that leads us to the big news. WWE comes to terms with the release of Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Lana Murphy, Ruby Riott, and Santana Garrett.
Santana Garrett can go and stay gone. Let her go.
Go, Tommy. Go, Tommy. Go.
Go, Tommy. Go. Trash.
Trash.
There you go. Yeah.
I'll say this. Now, it does not shock me. If you're looking at it from my point of view, out of those names, the ones that I would want to keep would be Aleister Black and Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's me out of those names. Now, from Vince McMahon's point of view, the reason it makes Braun Strowman such a shocker is because he was so high on Strowman. He don't look at people like Murphy and think that they're super talented, in my opinion. So it's like Strowman's like his type of guy. He's big, he's ripped, he's jacked, he's a big-ass monster. That's the type of guy that Vince would want around all the time. For him to cut him is pretty shocking. To cut Aleister Black, they just did all these vignettes about him. It's pretty fucking shocking. Lena's even a little shocking because she was just in a title mix. So it's just, I don't know. It's
So
I
what
think-
I've seen. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, go ahead.
I think Santana should never been on the roster in the first place. Me and her have had a hate relationship since her early days back in the NWA, when she beat Barbie Hayden for the NWA Women's title back in the day. I've never liked her. She's always put the flippy, all good girl, all cuddles and rainbows type stuff. I've never liked that. Braun Strowman, I can see him releasing Braun Strowman because Braun Strowman was an asshole. Lana, I think she got released because who her husband was. I was shocked by Black and Murphy, and I think Ruby Riott got a raw deal too. I think Ruby got a raw deal because of her injury history. But Murphy and Black, those two shot me because they're so good, and Black was being pushed.
I agree.
Being pushed.
That one shocked. If you'd have asked me a month ago when they were doing releases, I would have said Aleister Black definitely on that list. But for the last month, they've been pushing him.
Mhm.
They've been pushing this Dark Father character. It sounds like he had a cool place he was going to try and go with that, but they couldn't. I just don't understand it now. And then you release him, and Braun, from what I've heard, talent in the back were not surprised. He's not well liked, I guess, backstage.
Asshole.
he's lazy too, from what I hear.
Lazy doesn't, and from what I've also heard, tends to show up late, which we all know Vince does not like.
Well, he don't like that.
Yeah, I've always heard he was his worst enemy. That's why it took him so long to get the title, because he was always his worst enemy. He would always show up late, or he would screw something up.
And then some of the stuff he'll say in his interviews, this out the cold blue made no sense. You guys remember the time he criticized the talent? You guys remember that? Come on now.
Well,
I can't fucking take his interviews serious because he's screaming. He's like so red faced, and everything is like at 120 miles per hour. He's doing it's wide open. Like,
and my issue was he criticized the talent during the pandemic. Come on, man.
Well, he didn't criticize talent. He criticized indies. And from what I've seen, he's been going through his tweets, deleting a lot of those comments. Because now he's an indie darling. But here's a question for y'all. Y'all saw all these talents who tweeted today, kind of made a comment about it. Braun's was, I love this chapter in my life. Do you see Braun leaving wrestling altogether?
I can.
he would be good for movies.
He'd be good. He could easily pull a Dave Bautista. Fuck
Yeah.
Dave Bautista.
Well, he could pull.
I agree with you on
if
that,
they need him
I
for.
hate him, bro.
I
I do
agree
too.
with you.
I can't stand Batista.
I can't stand him either.
This is a little bit of a tangent, but I have to ask y'all the same question. Do y'all hate him because you feel like he kind of did the business dirty? Like he literally quit on screen, walked out, then started to get a little bit of fame and realized if I go back, do one more match, retire, they'll put me in the Hall of Fame, and that'll really help me. Basically, that's what he did. I love
To me, when he started, after he started doing movies, he got this attitude that he was better than every fucking body, and I just couldn't stand him. Man, he come off as a dick. Like
That's why Booker T whooped his ass.
That's two. Also, I like. Have y'all ever watched Running Wild with Bear Grylls?
I've
So
only seen it once.
he was on it this past season, and I'm sorry, he looked like a pussy. There's the only way to put it. He didn't even stay the fucking night. He was out there for like 6 hours, and then they went home. And I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Like, he
He got his ass whooping you in that cage fight and shit because he ain't no bad motherfucker. He's just jacked up.
And everybody talks about how nice he comes off, and I don't like him.
I was just trying.
Nice. I ain't never thought he come off nice. I always thought he comes off as a huge prick.
No, in person, people said everybody says he's a really nice guy, and
to me, he comes off like Scott Steiner.
That's
man.
how
Like,
I feel. That
you know.
I'm just trying to. I'm just trying to figure out who dresses the man. Every time you see him, he's in skinny jeans. What the hell, dude? You ain't got nothing else to wear, bro.
But,
I'm buff, bro. I can wear what I want.
I'm buff, man.
So I could see Braun possibly leaving wrestling altogether. WWE was the only reason he got into wrestling. So
It's not like he doesn't have money.
you don't know how he's been with his money during this time. So
I don't know. But I've always watched on Braun. He's pretty simple. He's kind of like some of the other ones. He has like a big ass farm and shit like that. Like he's very simple. He's very countrified. You know, like
that doesn't surprise me.
So it makes me think he's probably pretty good with his money. He's probably put his money up.
Other than that, though.
He ain't like Leo. He ain't gonna be like Leo, you know, trying to sell.
Yeah, like I said, I think Lana. I think you'll see.
That's one thing we didn't mention is Leo Rush did make his debut as the Joker. And Tommy, you can talk all the shit he wants, but Leo Rush signed because he has no money.
Yeah. Man, everybody got these things called bills, and they have to make sure they get paid.
The man is on. Like I was at that Deal Win watch party, and there were literally like 5 of us that had seen him trying to sell his shit online. The man has no money. He's got to work. AEW is going to pay him well. So.
I mean, like, the people in the groups were like roasting him hard. Like, bro, that shit ain't worth $5,000.
Hey, but let me ask y'all this though about this list. And we have Josh here, so it'd be an appropriate question.
I was about to go into this too.
Who do you see here? Who do you see where some of these guys end up?
Okay, so truly, I want to start this. There's actually only 2 I want to really see in AEW, and I think Black could be used well, and I think Murphy could definitely be used well. Braun, I agree with Tommy. If he stays in wrestling, he doesn't need to go to AEW, but he could be TNA champion like that.
Yep.
Impact, sorry. And I agree with you, Santana Garrett, go the fuck away.
Trash.
Ruby Riott, I think any women's division would be lucky to have Ruby Riott. Lana.
She's AEW bound. She's AEW bound.
Probably because that's where Miro. Yeah. But I'm I'm not happy about that. I'm not really liking Miro in AEW. He's one of the few that's come over that I'm just like, you're still boring, bro. Like you're still boring to me.
I can't stand Santana Garrett. I think she's terrible. You guys know me in women's wrestling. I really like strong style, particularly when you see the women use the strong style of wrestling. And she's not a strong style wrestler.
No.
And I hate to say this, but you might see her over in NWA, and she'll get a butt kicked by Camille, Thunder Rosa, those chicks over there. But I think that's where you might see her.
You talking about Lana?
No, Santana Garrett.
Oh, okay. I'll say what you do is what you need to do. This is how I would do it if I could send them where I wanted to send them. I would send Ruby Riott to AEW because that women's division needs it.
I agree.
It needs help. It needs help bad.
I would put Murphy. I would send Murphy to Impact.
Agree.
Make Murphy would be in the mix for taking on Kenny or someone for the title or something.
You don't think he goes X division first?
No.
So I can't see that because he's already proven us in the heavyweight round. Why would you go
Yeah,
X division?
yeah. I guess you're right. I guess you're right on that.
Aleister Black, Selena Vega has still not signed a contract with WWE. You put her with Aleister and you bring both of them in.
There you go. There you go.
Where?
Bring them in together. AEW.
I agree with that. I think he needs, and I said this to someone today, I think Alistair needs to bring the Dark Father gimmick wherever he goes. I think that was going to be really cool. I think he needs to try that somewhere else and go exactly in. I mean, with AEW, he could go exactly where he was thinking with it.
Right.
And not where WWE was thinking with it. So,
Right.
Braun Strowman, he goes to the World Car Flip Over Championships.
That's mine. I saw a lot of people saying that
and he finishes third.
I was seeing a lot of people saying that he needs to be AEW, that he'll be a champion right away. I don't want that. Personally, I'm not a Braun fan either. I never really was. I'm not the biggest fan of, I'm big and strong, I'm the best. Like, that's just, and I agree we all get bored of the same flippy stuff in the spots, but, like, that gets boring too. And Braun's character to me was super boring, and there was not a lot you could do to make it less boring.
You know how I knew Braun's career was over? When they put locomotive sounds outside the ring with him running around.
Yeah.
When I heard that, that's when I was like, oh, they are desperate to get him over now.
The kiss of death.
Yeah.
The kiss
That's
of
what
death.
might as well should have just called him Braun Shockmaster.
So we're going to take our last
Shockmaster.
on the Shockmaster comment. We are going to take the our last commercial break, and then we're going to come back about a couple of rumored releases still to come we've heard about. We'll be right back, guys.
Your butt is wide, well mine is too. Just watch your mouth, or I'll sit on you. The word is out, better treat me right. Cause I'm the king of cellulite. Ham on whole wheat, alright. My zippers bust, my buckles break. I'm too much man for you to take. The pavement cracks when I fall down. I've got more chins than Chinatown. But I never used a phone booth, and I never seen the toes. When I'm going to the movies, I take up 7 rows because I'm fat. Come on, you know I'm fat. You know it, you know I'm fat.
And now I talk to the dead, 'cause the voices in my head refuse to tell me what I wanna hear. Hold my feet to the fire, throw my car keys to the clothes. Save your sermon for the choir, 'cause I already know. I told my troubles to the wind, and I made myself clear. I need some divine intervention.
All right, guys, that is Writer's Digest. What?
I was just looking and I seen this comment, In this group, it says, so you release these guys, but Jason Rocker is still employed. Okay, I got you.
God. All right. So on that, you got Jesus. You got Writer's Digest. We've decided we're gonna hold our final episode until Gene comes back. We really want him involved in it. So Gene, get your ass back here.
Wherever you may be in the deep snow of Canada.
I think the moose. I think the moose have finally caught up with him, guys. They finally caught him.
You took its milk and it finally caught him.
Oh yeah.
So and then that is
They got his ass.
Gene be talking to his kids, go back in my day, we had to walk uphill both ways in the snow to get moose and milk.
And then that's another real podcast, a really good podcast. You can catch that Tuesday with me and Kay. This Tuesday, we'll be talking about a specific type of show, of genre of shows, so make sure you check that out. And then Hooded Warriors Eat St. Louis, and whenever Tommy and Patrick get me the show, it will be out. So soon.
Sometime, don't know what to tell you. Sometime we're trying to make it happen. I'll actually see Patrick tomorrow, but I'm going to cut his grass, not actually going out to eat with him.
So soon that's coming. I tell you, no matter what, me and Will be doing an episode of Josh and Will Eat New Orleans when we are in New Orleans or in Lake Charles when we are together. We've decided that we want to do some type of show together in person for the first time ever. And the best thing to do in Louisiana, where there's amazing food everywhere, is go eat some damn food. So we're hoping, and I'm hoping to get Mr. Brandon Randall to come out with us too.
It'd be pretty cool if Brandon had a little independent show or something while y'all were down there and y'all could catch it.
I'm hoping. Cool. I'm hoping. Cool. And he's telling me too that Texas, they're looking for Texas places to hold a show. So come on, Logan Wade, let's go.
Let's go, Logan Wade. Let's do it. Let's do it, brother.
And then I caught Rick's commercial for their show in Alexandria. He did pretty good. He did pretty good. I was impressed. So the next thing I want to discuss, guys, is this got posted in our group earlier today of rumors of potential releases. There's been some fake news that these people have been released, but from what we have found, nothing is confirmed. But these are the releases to come.
Don't you dare get rid of Liv Morgan. Don't you dare do that.
Well,
don't you dare to get rid of Keith Lee either.
Or Angel. Don't get rid of Angel Garza either.
I would say most people would say this whole list. I'm not really a fan of Humberto, but
I like Humberto. He earned my respect.
Don't get rid of Liv. Don't get rid of Liv. Don't get rid of Keith. Keith's got too much potential, bro. Too much potential.
Only person to hold both titles in NXT. I don't know what's going on, but there's something going on there behind the scenes. There is something going on. Like,
I know I thought he was fighting an injury.
That's what they've been saying, but now there's rumors coming out that it could be other things. Like there's something going on there.
Man, don't get
from what I've heard, I was talking to someone today. Liv Morgan, I think they're setting her up to be Lily. Truly,
that'd be cool. And it makes sense.
I don't think so.
To me, she should have been fucking Sister Abigail.
That's that too.
I thought that from the beginning, but they didn't. They ended up giving it to them Alexa, and that was stupid. To me, Bliss is the worst person they picked to play that part. They could have got like so many other girls they had on that roster that would have fit that role so much better than Alexa Bliss.
I love Liv, man. Don't let Liv go. # keep Liv.
So that's really all we had to talk about. Oh, well, no. This leads me to one thing. We talked about that. There's been a lot of rumors now, and we've kind of talked about it in our fantasy question of
here we go. Oh, my goodness. Hold on, everybody. Here comes the big bullshit sandwich. Are you ready for it, guys?
What? So there's rumor that WWE is going to sell. That there is potential talks with NBC, Fox, Amazon. I personally, I don't know if this is true. I personally always thought
just listen to those words and think how fucking silly that sounds. Amazon buying WWE.
Dude, they're one of the biggest streaming services in the world.
What are you gonna do? Deliver a match in 24 hours? Nah, dog.
Streaming, not. But you don't just look at them. They own one of the biggest streaming platforms in the world, and they're one of the biggest companies, period, in the world.
Yeah, I still had to get HBO just to see Mortal Kombat, so ain't that damn big.
True
just
that.
saying.
True that.
True that. I'm not saying that it's impossible that it could happen. I don't know. It's just you always hear these fucking rumors that they're hurting, but I can look at this from two ways. I could say they're not hurting because they got that $1 billion deal.
I don't think they're hurting.
They're not hurting because they're still doing shows on AE. They get money from those docs that they're doing. They get money from the shit that they're doing, like when they do stuff with fucking Pawn Stars and all this other shit. Yep. This after shit where they're hunting these treasures and shit. All that revenue's in some kind of damn money in some kind of way. Divas is still like the number one fucking show. It outdoes fucking AE. I mean, all of it. So you could look at it from the standpoint of they're killing it from that standpoint, or you could look at it from the standpoint of they're leaking money some fucking where, and they're having to do all these other things to cover for that money that they're fucking leaking somewhere. So,
won't they make that money back up when you start going on the road?
Eventually they'll start making money again, but they're never gonna make up the year of revenue that they lost. And you have to also remember that this year's Mania was supposed to be in Hollywood. It would have probably been one of the biggest Manias they had in years.
That's true.
Like, it could have been insane for them. They lost a lot of money there. And I don't necessarily think they're hurting. Another rumor you've been hearing, and again, Tommy, this is something we've been hearing for years, but it's Vince's mental acuity is going. Now, again, we've been hearing this for years, but the man is in his 70s, almost 80s. Like, if it is going at this point, I wouldn't be surprised.
Don't it just seem kind of shocking? Don't it feel like weird, though, from the standpoint of Vince is the type of person that would literally die before he would go out of business and sell. And just like now, all of a sudden, he's going to decide, all right, fuck it. I'm not going to give it to no family member. Nobody of my bloodline's ever going to run it. I'm going to sell it to some big corporation like Amazon or NBC. It just sounds very, very weird to me. Something just don't add up.
But this is my thing. From what I've heard, we know Shane doesn't really want to be inside the business side of wrestling. He likes being just a performer. That's all he really wants.
How do we really know that, though? That's my thing.
I'm just speculating from what we've all seen. But
did you see what I posted that Aleister Black said?
Yeah.
If anyone ever wants to know how much bullshit gets talked, go watch the thing that I posted on Pinfall Stream that Aleister Black said. All the things that we see on a normal basis in these pages of Vince is upset with Aleister, or Vince is not high on Aleister Black, or Vince sent Aleister Black home over this and this and this. Turns out that a lot of that even come from Aleister Black's mouth a while ago, that he has no hostility feelings, and all that is bullshit. They make this shit up. He's like, they claim that they got inside people. They don't have no fucking inside people. They're making this shit up. Aleister said that man never fucking was rude to me in any kind of way, or shit on my ideas, or any of these kind of things, or all these things that I'm seeing on Facebook and stuff that they're saying. It was all fucking a lie. He said they make shit up. They made shit up about Asuka on a regular basis. Like, she storms out after losing her title. He said that's not what the fuck she did. She went and worked her match and went and got in her car and went to the next town to work her next one, is all she did. and they took it and flipped it into this big story that she was pissed off that she had to drop the title. He said there's no inside fucking people. That's why I laugh every time I hear these fucking rumors of, oh, well, such and such said such and such, such and such. Oh, man, come on, dude. Like, you know how far there are so many anti-WWE groups of people out there that will just make up anything that's so far-fetched because that is what they really want to happen. They really want WWE to go out of business. I'm not saying it's impossible because God knows they've not gave us a product worth fucking buying in 6 or 7 years.
The thing is there too, Tommy, we've talked about it. They're never going to go out of business because they signed a $250 million deal with NBC for the Peacock shit. They signed a something $1 million deal with USA. They've signed a something $1 million deal with Fox, even though I've heard they're shopping SmackDown around for when their contract is up with Fox. But like
it was well over $1 billion deal when you put it all together.
Yeah, and you're not even counting the Saudi, which they've already announced supposedly that one of those is happening this year. Yeah. So, like,
I just don't know how selling to one of those companies you name would make it any better. If anything, it'd be even worse. And God knows we can't take any more.
Well, I've seen names like Disney too. Like that would be fucking horrible.
I'm not saying it
terrible.
would be better at all. I'm not saying it would be better at all. And that if it happens, God, please, if it happens, please split the two companies apart and make Triple H in charge of wrestling. Because
Disney ruined the Power Rangers. They'll kill WWE. They'll kill it. They'll kill it.
I agree. I don't want this to happen, but if Shane, Stephanie, I find it hard to believe that Stephanie and Triple H don't want it. That's where I find
it hard to believe that Hunter don't want some part of the business.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And maybe that's part of the deal he's working out. Hunter still gets to be in charge, and I don't know. But also, supposedly, what I've seen is Tony Khan is working out with the board to push Vince out. So, and even though it is Vince's company, the board could push him out of it. There are ways.
I don't see it happening.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I don't disagree. The shock that will run through our chat group the moment you post WWE has sold to blah blah blah. Like, you know what will happen. We will all shit bricks. It will be like my father, who is not a wrestling fan, told me today I never could see a world where Vince McMahon doesn't run the WWE.
Or someone from his bloodline.
Or someone related or appointed or whatever.
Like if fucking Sergeant Slaughter took over tomorrow, I wouldn't be shocked. You know what I mean? Someone is connected to him. You know what I mean? Not some NBC guy.
To NBC is a big difference.
Yeah.
So. But on that, guys, that's really our show tonight. Next week, I was wanting to talk about this week. So I want to talk about NXT, and I want to talk about the birth of NXT all the way to now and all of its history, everything about NXT. So I think it'll be a really cool show because it's a show that has really changed from what it was to what it is.
I can tell you those earlier seasons are pretty brutal.
I'm not saying you have to go watch it.
Those earlier years are kind of hard to watch. I'm not going to lie. The obstacle course days were fucking brutal.
Did anybody watch it right after they ended the game show portion of it and went to this? Even that was really cringy. Like, they had a wedding almost in the first, 6 months of the show. They were doing a fucking marriage.
It did not get good until, right after Seth and them started. Seth and them showed up and Seth and them left. And Samoa Joe and all them guys started showing up in NXT. That's when it started getting really fucking popping over there.
Next week, that's what we'll be talking about. The birth to all the way to now of NXT. All the amazing talent it's given WWE that has been squandered.
Yeah, right. All the amazing talent he gave us just for Vince to shoot in the head.
Just to mess it up.
So
I have not seen someone fumble so much talent like they have in the past couple of years. I mean, look at
do we need to pull it up again?
Keith Lee. I mean, like if they cut Keith Lee and then they lose Murphy and they lose Alistair Black,
signed fucking
Eve
read
Marie.
everything. Oh,
Re-sign Eve Marie, and then you're like, what the fuck are y'all smoking over there? Did Vince pass out some 80 fucking lewds to everybody?
You let go of a legit talent like Ruby Riot for eat. I ain't gonna say
you
it.
can't even say it.
I can't even say it.
So next week, guys, make sure you check it out. We'll be talking about NXT and everything that it is. So we'll see y'all next week, guys. Y'all have a great rest of your week. Thank y'all for joining us tonight.